You have 24 hours to leave this house. My stepchildren's ultimatum backfired in the most satisfying way. The morning after I buried my husband of 15 years, his 3 adult children gathered in my living room and handed me an envelope. Inside was a typed letter giving me 24 hours to vacate the home I had built with their father. But they had no idea what was coming next. I still remember the smell of fresh lilies mixed with grief. The funeral flowers hadn't even wilted, yet when Marcus's children, twins Victoria and Vincent, 34, and their younger sister Melissa, 29, marched into my kitchen like they owned the place. And in their minds, they did. "We need to talk, Eleanor," Victoria said, her designer heels clicking against the hardwood floors I had personally chosen 12 years ago. She didn't offer condolences. She didn't ask how I was holding up. She simply pulled out a chair and sat down like a CEO about to fire an employee. I was still wearing black. My eyes were still swollen from crying myself to sleep. My husband of 15 years had been in the ground for less than 18 hours, and his children were already circling like vultures. "We've discussed this among ourselves," Vincent said, adjusting his expensive watch, a gift from his father, I noted bitterly. "And we've decided that it's best for everyone if you find alternative living arrangements." I blinked, certain I had misheard. "I'm sorry." Melissa, the youngest and usually the quietest, slid an envelope across the table. "We've given you 24 hours. That should be enough time to pack your personal belongings." My hands trembled as I opened the envelope. Inside was a single typed page, formal and cold, demanding that I vacate the premises within 24 hours or face legal action. "This is my home," I whispered, my voice cracking. "Your father and I built this life together." Victoria laughed, actually laughed. "Built? You mean you moved into our father's life and spent his money for 15 years? Let's not pretend you were anything more than a glorified companion." The words hit me like a physical blow, but what came next was worse. "We know you married Dad for his money," Vincent said, leaning forward with cold eyes. "We've known it from the start. The poor widow with nothing, suddenly catching the attention of a wealthy businessman? Please." I wanted to defend myself. I wanted to scream that I had loved Marcus with every fiber of my being, that when we met, I had no idea about his wealth, that I had worked alongside him to grow his company, that I had nursed him through 2 years of cancer while they visited, maybe twice. But my throat closed up. Grief and shock paralyzed me. "The house, the cars, the accounts, they all belong to us now," Melissa added, pulling out what appeared to be legal documents. "Dad's will is very clear. Everything goes to his biological children." "That's not possible," I finally managed. "Marcus and I discussed this. He promised." "Promises mean nothing without paperwork," Victoria interrupted, standing up and smoothing her skirt. "We've already consulted with lawyers. You have no claim to anything. The compassionate thing would be to leave quietly and let this family heal." Family. The word stung most of all. For 15 years, I had tried to be part of their family. I had attended their graduations, their weddings. I had bought birthday presents they never acknowledged, sent Christmas cards they never returned. I had bitten my tongue through every snide comment, every rolled eye, every deliberate exclusion from family photos. And through it all, Marcus had assured me that things would change, that his children would eventually accept me, that patience and love would win them over. But patience and love had gotten me an eviction notice the day after his funeral. "You can't do this," I said, standing on shaking legs. "This isn't right." Vincent shrugged. "Right or wrong, it's legal. The clock starts now, Eleanor. 24 hours. They filed out without another word, leaving me alone in the kitchen where Marcus and I had shared 15 years of morning coffee, late-night conversations, and quiet moments of simple happiness. I collapsed into a chair and sobbed until I had nothing left. What Marcus's children didn't know, what nobody knew except me and one very expensive lawyer, was that Marcus had suspected this would happen. 3 months before his death, on one of his better days between treatments, Marcus had called me to his bedside. His hand, so thin and fragile, had gripped mine with surprising strength. Eleanor, I need to tell you something. Something I've kept from everyone, including you. I leaned closer, my heart aching at how pale he had become. My children, he continued, his voice weak but determined, are not who I hoped they would be. I've watched them for years. The way they treat you. The way they only call when they need money. The way they've never once asked about my treatment, only about my accounts. Tears rolled down my cheeks. I had never burdened Marcus with my pain regarding his children. I had always smiled, always said they were just adjusting, always protected him from the truth. But he had seen it all along. I've made arrangements, Marcus said, pulling a key from under his pillow. This opens a safety deposit box at First National. Box 7749. Inside, you'll find everything you need. But Eleanor, you must promise me something. Anything, I whispered. Don't open it until after I'm gone. And don't let my children see you break. They're going to try to destroy you. I know them better than they think. But you, my love, you're stronger than all of them combined. I had kept that promise. Through his final weeks, through the funeral arrangements, through the cold shoulders and whispered accusations from his children, I had held onto that key like a lifeline. And now, sitting alone in my kitchen with their ultimatum burning in my hands, I knew it was time. The next morning, I didn't pack. I didn't call moving companies. Instead, I put on my best dress, the emerald green one Marcus had always loved, and drove to First National Bank. The safety deposit box was heavier than I expected. Inside, I found a thick folder of documents, a USB drive, and a handwritten letter from Marcus. My dearest Eleanor, if you're reading this, then my worst fears have come true, and my children have shown you who they really are. I'm so sorry, my love. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you while I was alive. But I can protect you now. Inside this folder, you'll find 3 things. First, a revised will, signed and notarized 6 months ago, leaving the house, all accounts, and my shares in the company to you. My previous will, the one my children believe is valid, was revoked the same day. Second, documented evidence of financial impropriety by my children. Vincent has been embezzling from the company for 3 years. Victoria falsified her credentials to secure her position at my firm. And Melissa, despite her quiet demeanor, helped them cover it up. I've known about this for 18 months, but couldn't bring myself to act while I was alive. Third, a letter to my children, which I'd like you to read aloud to them when the time is right. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, Eleanor. You showed me what real love looks like. Please don't let them take that from you. Forever yours, Marcus. I sat in my car for an hour, crying, laughing, and crying again. My husband, even in death, had fought for me. That evening, exactly 23 hours after their ultimatum, Marcus's children returned. They brought boxes, tape, and barely concealed glee. I see you haven't started packing, Victoria said, surveying the unchanged living room. That's going to make this harder for you. Actually, I replied, my voice steady for the first time since Marcus's death. I won't be packing at all. Vincent scoffed. Eleanor, we've tried to be civil about this, but if you force us to involve the authorities. Please, I interrupted, gesturing to the sofa, sit down. There's something you all need to see. Maybe it was my tone, calm, almost amused, that made them comply. They exchanged confused glances, but settled onto the couch. I handed Victoria the revised will first. I watched her face cycle through confusion, disbelief, and finally, horror. This can't be right, she stammered. This isn't Dad's signature. It is, I assured her. Verified by the same law firm your family has used for 30 years. Your father revoked his previous will 6 months ago. Everything, the house, the accounts, the company shares, belongs to me. Vincent snatched the document, scanning it desperately. This is fraud. You manipulated him while he was sick. I suggest you watch your accusations carefully, I said, pulling out another set of documents. Especially given what's in here. I placed the evidence of their embezzlement on the coffee table. Bank statements. Forged signatures. Falsified expense reports. Everything Marcus had meticulously collected. The color drained from all three faces. "Where did you get this?" Melissa whispered, her composure finally cracking. "Your father," I replied simply. He knew. He knew everything. And he documented it all.
Victoria stood abruptly.
"This is ridiculous. We'll contest the will. We'll prove you coerced him. And I'll provide the police with evidence of felony embezzlement," I countered. "Your father estimated the total at just over $2 million. I believe that carries significant prison time." The room fell silent. Finally, I pulled out Marcus's handwritten letter to his children. "Your father wanted me to read this to you. I think you should hear it." They didn't protest. They couldn't. "To my children, I am writing this with a heavy heart, knowing that if Eleanor is reading this letter, you've already proven me right about who you've become. I gave you everything, every advantage, every opportunity, every second chance. And in return, you gave me nothing but disappointment. You stole from my company. You lied to my face. You treated the woman I love like garbage, assuming I was too blind to see.
But I saw everything."
I had hoped, prayed, that you would change, that the values I tried to instill would eventually take root. But watching you circle Eleanor, watching you count the days until my death so you could take what you thought was yours, it destroyed whatever hope I had left. Eleanor was more of a family to me than you ever were. She held my hand during chemotherapy while you complained about traffic. She learned my medication schedule while you learned my account balances. She loved me, truly loved me, while you loved only what I could give you. You have 30 days to leave the company. Eleanor will handle the transition. If you attempt to contest this will or retaliate against her in any way, she has full authority to turn over the embezzlement evidence to prosecutors. You are my biological children, and for that reason alone, I am giving you a chance to walk away.
Take it.
Start over. Become the people I always hoped you could be. But if you choose to fight, know this. I've made sure you'll lose. Your father, Marcus."
Silence.
Complete, devastating silence. Victoria was the first to leave, tears streaming down her face. Vincent followed, unable to meet my eyes. Melissa lingered at the door. "Did he really hate us?" she asked, her voice small and broken. I considered the question carefully. "He didn't hate you. He grieved for you. There's a difference." She nodded once and disappeared into the night. 6 months have passed since that evening. True to their father's final wishes, all 3 children resigned from the company. They didn't contest the will. They didn't retaliate. In fact, I haven't heard from them at all. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't lonely. The house feels too big without Marcus. Some nights, I still reach for him in my sleep. Some mornings, I still pour 2 cups of coffee before remembering. But I am not broken. I am not destroyed. I run the company now, continuing Marcus's legacy. I donated a portion of the estate to cancer research. I established a scholarship fund for single parents, honoring my own journey before I met him. And every evening, I sit on our porch, my porch, and watch the sunset, remembering a man who loved me enough to protect me even from beyond the grave. His children wanted me gone in 24 hours. Instead, I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I'm finally, truly home. The end.